SpongeBob theme song remix, subscribe to our new goddamn channel dedicated to only that. Now enjoy this cool as hell SpongeBob thing.
Hello random person, Sab Nino here. First of all, if you're a kid watching this, get the hell out of here. This isn't for you. Second, the Sab outfit that you see in Sab Talk and Sponge Takes is a real outfit, so I'm trying to wear this more often. Using the title of this video, we are discussing vintage SpongeBob merchandise. Since you know me, I'm a collector, as seen in these two videos right here, so I thought, why not showcase a lot of the vintage merchandise that I have. Why not go a little further? Instead of just sticking with the early 2000s stuff, I'm gonna do some late 2000s, early 2010 stuff as well. Because 2010 is now 10 years old, and I'm old. We're all old. To add suspense to this video, the first thing I'm gonna showcase are re-releases of vintage merchandise. So let's get started. The first thing I want to show off is this Patrick plushie. The reason why this is the very first thing I showcase is because I'm not sure if this counts. I believe this was around since 2014, 2015. I don't exactly know, but the reason why this is on here is because this might be a re-release of another big Patrick plushie. But with that one, you can actually stick your finger in his belly button. But with this one, even though it's probably a lot cozier, you can't finger its belly button. 0 out of 10. This is not accurate. Get out of here. Next up is a SpongeBob Pez dispenser. They released a lot of these, but nowadays they mainly just focus on the SpongeBob ones, which I'm gonna be honest is a little lazy, because back in the day they had Patrick, Squidward, Gary, SpongeBob nudie pants. I'd get why they wouldn't want to show SpongeBob in his underwear, giving the questionable design choice where you put in the Pez dispenser right in here and it makes it look like a penis. But come on, they could have done more than just SpongeBob, Gold SpongeBob, Transparent SpongeBob. But this is one of the re-releases. I know the stem is brand new, and might I add, it's a pretty good one. It looks pretty nostalgic. It looks like something out of the 2000s, despite it coming out in the 2020s, which I know because I got this at Dave & Buster's. Last up with the re-releases, these figures. Before I discuss why this is on the list, may I say how perfectly on model these figures are? It's pretty much identical to the model sheets. I'll give you an example. Here's a side-by-side comparison of the front angle and the 3/4 view of all of these characters compared to the model sheets. It is pretty much an exact replica to the point where you could literally use these as reference for any 3D model. I believe you could only really get them at Universal Studios. The only reason why these are on the list is because I am pretty sure I used to own these, and originally SpongeBob's holes were green, but in this one they are yellow. And there's actually an official reason for this. On most figurines and plush toys nowadays on the Nickelodeon press releases, it is confirmed that the reason they don't have his holes green more often than not is because they don't want him looking like moldy cheese, which I think is stupid, because Sponge on the Run is solid evidence as to why SpongeBob wouldn't look like moldy cheese. That's all the re-releases I own, so let's get to the more later vintage stuff in the collection. First off, we have the SpongeBob 3D DVD game. You might or might not know what this is, but if you want to know more about it, check out the video that Scuff and I did on this. We had a lot of fun. Honestly, the game's pretty lame, but it's cool to have something that everyone else probably doesn't. And then there's Connect 4 SpongeBob Edition. This one also got re-released where instead of Patrick being the opponent, it's Plankton, which I think it's a little lame because I feel like with this version of Connect 4, it's just a game with buddies opposed to good versus evil. But having both iterations would be fun for 4-player. What's cool about this iteration is that it's not just SpongeBob and Patrick plastered onto the pieces. SpongeBob's face is actually a blocker to add a little bit more of a challenge. Okay, I'll pull up. Shit, it went too far. This is a SpongeBob 3D puzzle ball. I love 3D puzzles. They are a lot of fun, especially the SpongeBob ones. What's cool about this one is that there's a little plankton on the back. This is one of my oldest possessions. I also have quite a bit of vintage games, like Plankton's Robotic Revenge. Go away. Then I have SpongeBob SquigglePants. Very underrated game. If you have a U-Draw game tablet or a Nintendo 3DS, I'd highly recommend it. It's basically WarioWare SpongeBob Edition, and is basically a playable version of how to draw SpongeBob in 5 splashy styles. I'm cheating a little bit because this is more into the vintage category. I have a PS2 copy of the original Battle for Bikini Bottom. Unfortunately, since I don't have a PS2, I can't play it, so I'm just gonna have to resort to emulation, which I have done on Twitch. Check out my Twitch. Then I have Atlantis Pantis on the Wii, which is pretty cool. Unfortunately, the game is just okay. Plus, I can't even play this, which doesn't bother me. I have the superior version, Atlantis Pantis on the DS. I want to make a video on this sometime, along with Drawn to Life and Truth or Square, the entire Altron trilogy. Check it out. I love these babies. They are cool. Oh, and Creature from the Krusty Krab. That's pretty cool, I guess. I like the sprite work. Since we're on the topic of video games, I want to do a quick intermission before we get to the really old stuff by showing you this TV guide I had for the 10th anniversary. This is one of the oldest possessions I have in my collection, and that's really cool. A lot of celebrity trivia, a lot of just behind the scenes in general, and there's a lot of stuff in here that makes you feel old. Like this section. Half of these websites are defunct, and some of the objects they don't even sell anymore, like this Tickler app. I also have the 10th anniversary Nickelodeon magazine, which is also super cool because it has a lot of comics and a lot of fun games and stuff. I've doodled a little bit in it. But there's also stuff that isn't SpongeBob related too. Lastly, I have a bunch of DVDs. So for the sake of extra nostalgia, I am gonna showcase them like that one DVD ad.
The Spongetacular collection includes Sponge Buddies, Nautical Nonsense, Tales from the Deep, The Seascape Capers, Sponge for Hire.
It's a SpongeBob Christmas. Let's get to the vintage stuff. I want to showcase this very vintage Build-A-Bob. I am pretty sure on Amazon and eBay, these go for a lot. The Krusty Krab is worth almost half of $1,000. I also have a bunch of Lego figurines up here, along with a few Mega Bloks ones. Unfortunately, this is my only Lego set, but I used to have them all. Also, here's my entire Lego collection. Just for those who are interested, a lot of it is Mega Bloks, a lot of it is not Lego SpongeBob set. The pineapple way in the back is actually from Japan. And if you want to know more about this, check out this video. There should be a thumbnail right now. I also got this used SpongeBob 3D puzzle. I used to own this as a kid, and I decided to rebuy it solely out of nostalgia. It's used, and unfortunately, the body kind of wobbles around. Also, it's sunburnt, but it's still really cool to have this in my collection. It's a cool little piece. SpongeBob slippers! I bought this fucker at a comic book store. This is one of those prizes that you win at an arcade. There have been quite a bit of re-releases, and I have quite a few of those, but this is the original. Here's Monopoly SpongeBob Edition. If you want to see a video on this, comment below. Here's the back of it. There was only a few missing pieces, which really surprised me, and most impressively of all, it's used and it has a plankton token. This is a Beanie Baby Squidward with a broken neck. This is my oldest plushie, I think. I also have a Battling SpongeBob plush in my possession, but unfortunately, whenever I need it, it always disappears, making me turn out to be a liar because I can't see it right now, so I can't showcase it. But to make up for it, the last possession I have in my collection will hopefully be the best one. So the last thing I want to show off from my collection is so big that I have to be on camera for it to show off its features. I have never seen this documented anywhere other than a few videos in the late 2000s of YouTube, which I cannot find. So without further ado, the face-making SpongeBob plush. I never owned this as a kid. I just bought it a few months ago, and I say it's money well spent. Look at this dude. He is an absolute unit. He is so charming and lovable, and his gimmick is quite a lot of fun. His mouth is made out of wires, so you can give him like certain expressions. For example, I can try to make him very happy. His tongue is kind of just loose there, so sometimes he looks like Stimpy. Yeah, I can make him happy, or I can make him very, very scared. This is my fan base whenever I make a video that isn't SpongeBob. And there you go. That's my entire collection. I also have a lot of other stuff like Burger King toys and board games, so if you ever want to see me cover those, comment below. I want to try to make more videos like this, so hopefully you guys are interested. Which one of these was your favorite? Which one do you want? Which ones do you have? Comment below. Let's start a discussion. And with all that said, it's all Sab from here.